And the Lord summoned me and said to me, Enoch, sit down on my left with Gabriel. And I bowed down to the Lord, and the Lord spoke to me, Enoch, beloved, all that you see, all things that are standing finished, I tell to you even before the very beginning. All that I created from non-being and visible physical things from invisible spiritual. Hear Enoch, and taking these my words, for not to my angels have I told my secret, and I have not told them their lies, nor my enemies wrong, nor have they understood my creating, which I tell you today. For before all things were visible, physical, I alone used to go about in the invisible spiritual things, like the sun from east to west and from west to east. But even the sun has peace in itself, while I found no peace because I was creating all things and I conceived the thought of placing foundations and of creating physical creation. I commanded in the very lowest parts that visible physical things should come down from invisible spiritual. And a door came down very great, and I beheld him, and lo, he had a belly of great light. And I said to him, Become undone, a door, and let the visible physical come out of you. And he came undone, and a great light came out. And I was in the midst of the great light, and as there is born light from light, there came forth a great age and showed all creation, which I had thought to create. And I saw that it was good. And I placed for myself a throne, and said to the light, Go thence up higher, and fix yourself high above the throne, and be a foundation to the highest things. So the big bright star on top of the Christmas tree, they copied from God. The bright light higher up on the throne. And I summoned the very lowest a second time, and said, Let Arches come forth hard, and he came forth hard from the invisible spiritual. And Arches came forth hard, heavy, and very red. And I said, Be opened, Arches, and let there be born from you. And he came undone, and age came forth, very great and very dark, bearing the creation of all lower things. And I saw that it was good, and said to him, Go thence down below, and make yourself firm, and be a foundation for the lower things. And it happened, and he went down, and fixed himself, and became the foundation for the lower things, and below the darkness there is nothing else. And I commanded that there should be taken from light and darkness, and I said, Be thick, and it came thus, and I spread it out with the light, and it became water. And I spread it out over the darkness below the light, and then I made from the waters, that is to say the bottomless, and I made foundation of light around the water, and created 7 circles from inside, and imaged the water like crystal, wet and dry, that is to say like glass, and the circumcision of the waters and the other elements, and I showed each one of them its road, and the 7 stars, each one of them in its heaven, that they go thus. And I saw that it was good. And I separated between light and between darkness, that is to say, in the midst of the water, hither and thither. And I said to the light that it should be the day, and to the darkness that it should be the night. And there was evening, and there was morning the first day. And then I made from the heavenly circle, and made that the lower water which is under heaven collect itself together into a one whole, and that the chaos became dry, and it became so. All of the waves I created were hard and big, And from the rock I piled up the dry, and the dry I called earth, and the midst of the earth I called abyss, that is to say, the bottomless. I collected the sea in one place, and bound it together with a yoke. And I said to the sea, Behold, I give you your internal limits, and you shall not break loose from your component parts. Thus I made fast the firmament. This day I called the first created Sunday. And for all the heavenly troops I imaged the image and essence of fire, and my eye looked at the very hard, firm rock, and from the gleam of my eye the lightning received its wonderful nature, which is both fire in water and water in fire. And one does not put out the other, nor does the one dry up the other. Therefore the lightning is brighter than the sun, softer than water, and firmer than hard rock. And from the rock I cut off a great fire, and from the fire I created the orders of the incorporeal, 10 troops of angels, and their weapons are fiery, and their remnant a burning flame. And I commanded that each one should stand in his order. And one from out the order of angels, having turned away with the order that was under him, conceived an impossible thought, to place his throne higher than the clouds above the earth, that he might become equal in rank to my power. And I flew him out from the heights with his angels, and he was flying in the air continuously above the bottomless. On the third day, I commanded the earth to make grow great and fruitful trees and hills, and seed to sow, and I planted paradise and enclosed it, and placed as armed guardians flaming angels, and thus I created renewal. Then came evening, and came morning the fourth day, Wednesday. On the fourth day I commanded that there should be great lights on the heavenly circles. On the first uppermost circle I placed the stars, chrono, and on the second Aphrodite, on the third Aries, on the fifth Zeus, on the sixth Hermes, on the seventh Lesser the moon, and adorned it with the lesser stars. And on the lower I placed the sun for the illumination of day, and the moon and stars for the illumination of night. The sun that it should go according to each constellation, 12. And I appointed the succession of the months, and their names, and lights, their thunderings, and their hour markings, how they should succeed. Then evening came, and morning came the fifth day, Thursday. On the fifth day I commanded the sea that it should bring forth fishes, and further birds of many varieties, and all animals creeping over the earth, going forth over the earth on 4 legs and soaring in the air, male sex and female, and every soul breathing the spirit of life. And there came evening, and there came morning the sixth day, Friday. On the sixth day I commanded my wisdom to create man from 7 consistencies. 1. His flesh from the earth. 2. His blood from the dew. 3. His eyes from the sun. 4. His bones from stone. 5. His intelligence from the shiftless of angels and from cloud. 6. His fangs and his hair from the grass of the earth. 7. His soul from my breath and from the wind. And I gave him 7 natures: to the flesh hearing, the eyes for sight, to the soul smell, the veins for touch, the blood for taste, the bones for endure, to the intelligence sweetness enjoyment. I conceived a cunning saying to say, I created man from visible spiritual and from visible physical nature. Of both are his death and life and image. He knows speech like some created thing, small in greatness and again great in smallness. And I placed him on earth, a second angel, honorable, great, and glorious, and I appointed him as ruler to rule on earth, and to have my wisdom, and there was none like him of earth, of all my existing creatures, and I appointed him a name from the 4 component parts, from east, from west, from south, from north, and I appointed for him 4 special stars, and I called his name Adam, and showed him the 2 ways, the light and the darkness, and I told him, this is good and that bad, that I should learn whether he has love towards me or hatred, that it be clear which in his ways love me. For I have seen his nature, but he has not seen his own nature. Therefore, through not seeing, he will sin worse. And I said after seeing, what is there but death? And I put sleep into him, and he fell asleep, and I took from him a rib, and created him a wife, that death should come to him by his wife. And I took his last word, and called her name Mother, that is to say, Eve. Adam his life on earth, and I created a garden in Eden in the east, that he should observe the testament and keep the command. I made the heavens open to him, that he should see the angels singing the song of victory and the luminous light. And he was continuously in paradise, and the devil understood that I wanted to create another world, because Adam was molded on earth to rule and control it. The devil is the evil spirit of the lower places. As a fugitive he made Santana from the heavens, as his name was Santeller, the Satan. Thus he became different from the angels, but his nature did not change, his intelligence as far as his understanding of righteous and sinful things, and he understood his condemnation and the sin which he had sinned before. Therefore he conceived thought against Adam. In such form he entered and seduced Eve, but did not touch Adam. But I cursed ignorance, but what I had blessed piously, those I did not curse. I cursed not man, nor the earth, nor other creatures, but man's evil fruits and his works. I said to him, Earth you are, and into the earth whence I took you, you shall go, and I will not ruin you, but send you whence I took you. Then I can again receive you at my second presence, and I blessed all my creatures, visible, physical, and invisible, spiritual. And Adam was 5.5 hours in paradise. And I blessed the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, on which he rested from all his works. And I appointed the 8th day also, that the 8th day should be the first created after my work, and that the first 7 revolved in the form of the 7,000, and that at the beginning of the 8,000 there should be a time of not counting, endless, with neither years, nor months, nor weeks, nor days, nor hours. And now, Enoch, all that I have told you, all that you have understood, all that you have seen of heavenly things, all that you have seen on earth, and all that I have written in books by my great wisdom, all these things I have revised and created from the uppermost foundation to the lower and to the end, and there is no counselor nor inheritor to my creations. I am self-eternal, not made with hands and without change. My thought is my counselor, my wisdom and my word are made, and my eyes observe all things, how they stand here and tremble with terror. So 33.1, it says that revolve in the form of the 7,000. So 7,000 years total is the end of the world. So right now we are approaching 6,000, and then the 6,000 mark, I think it's the apocalypse, Armageddon. Then count to the 7,000. Then after Armageddon, 6,000 years to 7,000 years, total 1,000 years. is the time that the Lord Jesus come down from heaven to rule the earth for 1,000 years. Then on the 8,000 mark, the beginning of 8,000, no more time, and starting the eternal. If I turn away my face, then all things will be destroyed. And apply your mind, Enoch, and know him who is speaking to you. And take friends the books which you yourself have written. And I give you Samuel and Raguel, who led you up, and the books, and go down to the earth, and tell your sons all that I have told you, and all that you have seen, from the lower heaven up to my throne, and all the troops. For I created all forces, and there is none that resists me, or that does not subject himself to me. For all subject themselves to my monarchy, and labor for my sole rule. Give them the books of the handwriting, and they will read them, and will know me for the Creator of all things, and will understand how there is no other God but me. And let them distribute the books of your handwriting, children to children, generation to generation, nations to nations, and I will give you Enoch, my intercessor, the archistrator, Michael, for the handwritings of your fathers, Adam, Seth, Enos, Canaan, Mahalalel, and Jared your father. He who raises the generation shall reveal to them the books of your handwriting, and of your fathers to them to whom he must point out the guardianship of the world, to the faithful men and workers of my pleasure, who do not acknowledge my name in vain. And they shall tell another generation, and those others, having read, shall be glorified thereafter more than the first. Now Enoch, I give you the term of 30 days to spend in your house, and tell your sons and all your household, that all may hear from my face what is told them by you, that they may read and understand how there is no other God but me, and that they may always keep my commandments, and begin to read and take in the books of your handwriting. And after 30 days I shall send my angel for you, and he will take you from earth and from your sons to me. And I saw all forefathers for all time with Adam and Eve, and I signed and broke into tears, and said of the ruin of their dishonor, Woe is me for my infirmity, and for that of my forefathers, and thought in my heart, and said, Blessed is the man who has not been born, or who has been born, and shall not sin before the Lord's face, that he come not into this place, nor bring the yoke of this place. I saw the keyholders and guards of the gates of hell standing like great serpents, and their faces like extinguishing lamps, and their eyes of fire, their sharp teeth. And I saw all the Lord's works, how they are right, while the works of men are some good, and others bad, and in their works are known those who lie evilly.